What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. There's been a lot of new developments in the death from last Wednesday of Vonderrit Myers Jr. This is his picture here on the screen. All right. And I wanted to begin the video with this picture because the eyes are the keys to the soul. And so oftentimes when these murders happen, these young men are just a name and an image. We don't ever get a chance to really take a good look at them so much. Now, while this is a mugshot, it still tells us a lot about Vonderrit. You know, he's any brother, he's any brother USA. We all know him. We got a neighbor, a friend, a co-worker, a cousin, an uncle, a father. We all know somebody that looks like Vonderrit, you see. And, of course, we know the night that he was killed, he had some dreadlock sort of things going on. He had some locks, looked like he was starting. But that is the brother there, you know. And when you look into his eyes, you see a young man who, you see the innocence still there. Forget the tough exterior and all that. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. That was a curious man, a curious young brother. 18 years old, still trying to find the answers to his own life, let alone the big picture of the mystery of survival and existence and life. And then this picture that's on the left was a picture of him and his mom. It's not as clear because it wasn't a good picture, I guess, to begin with, sort of the quality, the way it was uploaded. And so you lose some of its quality when you enlarge it. But nonetheless, there's enough for us to see. He had his mother's eyes. You see? He had her cheekbones. A tall young man there standing with his mother. It's so easy to forget, especially once the white media gets a hold of it, that these are people, that had lives. We don't know what he was planning to do the rest of the night on Wednesday when he left that damn store from getting a sandwich. Maybe he had a favorite TV program that he was going to go home and watch, or a favorite song that he wanted to listen to, or some girl that he wanted to call and holler at. Or maybe he was going to do something for his mom, or a neighbor, or somebody in his family, or a neighbor, or a friend, or somebody that he knew. Maybe he was just going to get his clothes ready for the next day, or read a book. Gone. Gone at 18 years old. Gone. His life has been vanquished by a system that hated him since before he was born. The information I'm going to be bringing you in this production, Dana E., again, you are a light. Somehow Dana is always able to pull something out that is just extraordinary and that really contributes and adds to our breadth of knowledge and understanding of what's going on. And certainly that's the case here. So I'm going to be bringing you this report about they're saying that his hands tested positive for gunshot residue. All right. Also going to be bringing you this one. It just says, who is Vonderrit Myers? Who is he? Who was he? And I will tell you that I've not looked at that one. Actually, only a couple of these have I even looked at. So that should be interesting as well. Then I have one also that is from the construction workers now. This has to do with the Mike Brown case. You remember that there was those two construction workers that had saw this whole thing. White construction workers. All right? And there's going to be some very interesting stuff that's going to come out of that I want to share with you. They're now speaking out to the media. All right? But I begin tonight with this first story about Vonderrit out of St. Louis, proclaiming now that they found Facebook pictures from a Facebook page that they say has been taken down. All right? Where they've found pictures now of him with the gun that they claimed that was used on the night that this all went down last Wednesday. All right? Let's roll this, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side of the video.
18-year-old Vonderrit Myers Jr. by an off-duty police officer last week in the Shaw neighborhood. But Fox 2 has learned that the suspect showed off his stolen gun to anybody who would look.
We obtained pictures of Vonderrit Myers Jr. showing off his handguns on social media. Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes reveals the evidence while exploring why the officer shot at Myers 17 times.
Here's Vonderrit Myers Jr. in a picture he reportedly posted on social media before someone dismantled the page. 3 handguns in his lap, including this 9mm Smith & Wesson semi-automatic.
The one weapon with a silver slide on it has been positively identified by my client as the gun that was used in the shooting that night.
Brian Milliken is the attorney for the officer. The suspect's family claims publicly that Myers did not have a gun.
We want people to know that not only did he have it, but this is the actual weapon that he used that night.
The St. Louis Post-Dispatch acquired this surveillance video of Myers and others buying a sandwich. He's not wearing a hooded sweatshirt and does not appear to be carrying a handgun. This video shows Myers left the store at about 7:05. It was about 20 minutes later when the off-duty St. Louis Metropolitan Police officer, who was uniformed and working secondary, described seeing 3 men, including Myers, in a hooded sweatshirt.
There was no initial stop or pedestrian check in this case. As he's patrolling, he notices that these individuals start running in different directions. Ultimately, he sees the suspect that was involved in the shooting holding his waistband.
The incident report states Myers ignored the officer's verbal commands and moved towards the officer aggressively. The report says it became hands-on, and Myers' hooded sweatshirt came off.
The suspect, where he began shooting at the police officer, was on higher ground, basically, than the policeman. So he has a tactical advantage because he's shooting down at the policeman.
So here's what he's talking about. The officer is reportedly down here, well below the suspect, with the suspect firing down at him. So the officer gets down to take cover.
Part of those rounds were suppression rounds to try to get the suspect to stop shooting at him. So the way it was described is the policeman's got his gun up here. He's down trying to avoid fire coming at him, and his gun is slightly raised over his head, shooting back up at the suspect.
Milliken says police also found what they believe to be a bullet fragment in a car behind the officer. St. Louis City Police say the suspect shot at the officer 3 times before his gun jammed. Investigators tested the suspect's gun, but have not released results. Investigators are also waiting for crime lab results on possible gunpowder residue on Myers' hands. The officer, who's now on standard leave, is a Marine Corps veteran with 3 combat tours under his belt. His attorney feels it's his extensive combat training that kept him alive last Wednesday night. For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.
Okay, now the problem with that, right from the beginning, we got to talk about it. Now, the first problem with that whole thing is you heard them say there was no initial stop or a pedestrian check in this case. As I told you at the beginning, the text that is with these videos is basically just the transcript from the video. And so you see it says here, it says Milliken said, that's the attorney for the devil, said there was no initial stop or pedestrian check in this case. They've changed it now. That's an inconsistency. All right? Remember, I kept saying in the first video, why? Okay, they saw him and they ran. So what? That's not against the law to run from the police. If you haven't done anything wrong and they're not investigating for a crime, you can just see a police officer and run. No crime in that. But they kept harping on that, and now oh well, there was no pedestrian check. So why were you after these young men to begin with? All right? That's a problem. The glaring thing that I need to point out in this is that you saw that they got this picture from Facebook, from a Facebook page that had been dismantled, was the language that they used. I want to say to my parents, and I want to say to the young people, first to the young people, take that shit down off your Facebook page now. If you're listening to me, that means you're on a computer, which means get to your damn Facebook and take down all pictures of your ass that we're going to have to look at if, God forbid, something happens to you. We only want to see wonderful and adoring pictures of you. All that other shit, save it in a picture file on your computer, and then when you just got to share that out to somebody, share it to them individually in their email. Don't post this stuff online. You never know what's going to happen. And then here it is. Now, those could have been toy guns that he had. They could have been, you know what I mean? They could have been photoshopped in after the fact. We don't know. All right? That damn, just because we see a picture does not mean that is evidence. All right? But everyone, take that shit down. To my parents, go, and if you don't have access to your children's Facebook, then they don't need to have Facebook. Period. The damn end. They don't need to have it, and you need to go through their damn Facebook and make sure they don't have pictures that are you know, degrading and that are suspect. And to my adults out there, some of you all have pictures up on Facebook that are reprehensible. Take that down, black people. There's no good reason for it. I'm overseeing black people on damn Facebook pictures with gang signs being thrown up, and you just take that down, because I'm sure that that's part of their training even now. You know, the moment that something happens, quick, go to see if he had a Facebook page. And we know Facebook makes you use your real name. There's ways around that. I don't use my real name on damn Facebook. All right? But still, they have ways. And, you know, and if he had a phone on him and all that kind of stuff, take that down, for the love of God. Take it down. But you see, they still have a problem, because now they want to boast that, oh, look, he had a gun. And this is the same gun that's in the damn Facebook picture. But when we see that surveillance video from the convenience store, he wasn't wearing a hoodie. You're a proven liar, so just because you tell me he had a hoodie on and that turns out not to be true, how am I to believe he had a gun on him? Listen, that was a pretty big gun, and that would have some weight to it. And we saw he was sagging, which I also predicted. All right? I want to play you a clip now from the video that I first brought you about this, saying exactly that. Exactly that. That there was probably, that I said they probably was sagging. Let me play that for you now. I'm telling you, there's going to be shots to the back. There's going to be shots to the back. Watch what I'm telling you. Watch. Watch. And remember that the Jedi said it. So now he gets his hoodie off of him and the guy runs away. Now he's grabbing at his waist. Not the other time he ran when they first saw you. Not when he's hiding in the bushes does he go for that alleged gun in his waist. No. I have to wait until I get into an altercation and you pull my damn hoodie off, and now I'm going to reach for my waistband. The brother was probably sagging, and he probably was just pulling his pants up as he was running the fuck away. Note to my young ones out there, tighten them goddamn belts and pull that shit up. It's not cute, it's homo. I said it. And when the video came out of the convenience store, alas, he was sagging. And I say again now, as I said in that video clip that I just played of you, that I just played of me in that previous video, to the young ones out there, pull your goddamn pants up. There's nothing cute about that at all. The females are not asking for it. They don't understand why you do it. I do. I've done a whole video about it. Go and check that out. It's called down. It's sagging is down low, or the down low is sagging and the down low. Go and watch that. There's nothing cute about it at all. And you see that plays a major role in this case, because I believe, as I stated in that, before we even knew anything, that he was probably sagging. And that's the reason why he was pulling his pants, because he couldn't run. Pull them damn pants up and tighten your belt, young people. Just for your own self-dignity. If nothing else. That's very important. Then you saw there also in the clip, we saw the scene. They're showing where he was standing and where the officer was allegedly standing. That he was now elevated up over the cop. But that doesn't make sense to me, because right there was this gangway. I don't believe that they ever stopped. They were running from this officer the entire time. And somehow he cornered this brother. They were running from the moment they saw that police officer, they start running. And they wanted to believe, no, he stopped and started coming towards the officer aggressively. I'm not buying it. That is some bullshit. And I put that stamp on it, period, damn end. That's very important. Pull them damn pants up. And as I say, there was no pedestrian stop in this damn case. Now they're saying it. But before, they were like, he was just doing a routine pedestrian stop. I also saw from some raw video from the live stream, there was a brother out there on the scene who said that that's whatever security detail that this guy was on for that private security, this is not even his area. It's not even his area. So that's very important to note as well. This sounds a lot like goddamn George Zimmerman. You see a black child, and now you want to go and confront him and start some shit. All right? Those boys were running. The other two, as we saw in the surveillance video from the convenience store, the other two weren't sagging the way Vonderrit was. So they were able to get away. But he was not, because those damn pants were sagging probably. That's what I believe. Now, they mentioned in that previous video about the gunshot residue. So now that wasn't available at the time of that report. This report now is about that gunshot residue and the preliminary lab results that have come back, where they're alleging now that he had this gunshot residue on his hands. This means nothing to me even going into it, because they spent a lot of time out there on that crime scene, and it would have been very easy to, put some gunshot residue on him, or, something of that nature, And how do we know that the police officer wasn't close enough to him that gunshot residue ended up on him? Maybe he had his hands up and in a defensive position, and, so forth. So I take this with a grain of salt. But let's go ahead and listen to this report, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
On Fox, 2 new key pieces of evidence revealed in last week's police shooting of a teenager on Shaw.
Vonderrit Myers Jr. died after a confrontation with police. Fox 2's Chris Hayes joins us with the new evidence. Chris?
Tom, this is a big piece of the puzzle. Results from a gunshot residue crime lab report showing residue on Myers' right hand, t-shirt, jeans, and belt. It was in our exclusive Fox Files report Monday, where we showed pictures posted of Vonderrit Myers Jr. on Instagram. He's showing off handguns. An attorney for the officer who shot and killed Myers confirmed that's the suspect, and the gun with the silver slide is the one he says Myers used October 8th. Here's another photo from Instagram. This time, Myers holding a gun. The post is dated 2 days before the shooting.
With regards to the firearm that's depicted on social media, it would have been an incredible conspiracy for the officer to pull off, as it's been alleged, throwing down or planting a gun that just happened to match the very distinctive gun that was portrayed on social media.
I don't think so. That wouldn't have been a conspiracy, because they could have, at the time they were on the scene, they could have gone through his phone. They could have done anything. They said he was no stranger to law enforcement. They may have already had this profile on him already on file. So I'm not buying it. And yes, it would have been possible for the officer to plant the gun Absolutely, or to Photoshop that picture. They did say the damn page has been dismantled. But again, I go back. They say he was no, oh, well, he was no stranger to law enforcement. Moving on.
Jeff Wara, who's the business manager for the St. Louis Police Officers Association, also revealed that Vonderrit Myers Jr. was certified as an adult when he was 16 after being arrested for shooting someone in the leg. St. Louis County did not prosecute the case and say the report is closed. Rorta, along with attorney Brian Milliken and association president Joe Steiger, also explained the gunshot residue report released by St. Louis police just before the news conference. Highway Patrol crime lab techs found residue on Myers' hand, t-shirt, and belt, which they say is consistent with a suspect shooting down at the officer, as we reported last night.
It was clearly Vonderrit Myers' intent that night to kill a police officer.
No. Let's go back.
Being arrested for shooting someone in the leg. St. Louis County did not prosecute the case and say
that suspect, you shoot somebody in the leg and it's not prosecuted and they just wash that away. That's suspect to me. Why? Moving on.
The report is closed. Rorta, along with attorney Brian Milliken and association president Joe Steiger, also explained the gunshot residue report released by St. Louis police just before the news conference. Highway Patrol crime lab techs found residue on Myers' hand, t-shirt, and belt, which they say is consistent with a suspect shoot.
Now, I hate when you pause this that puts up this crap, but if you could see that gangway is right there. Why is he shooting at the officer? Why doesn't he just run through there? You see? I'm going to play it again, and I won't stop it this time.
Shirt and belt, which they say is consistent with a suspect shooting down at the officer, as we reported last night.
It was clearly Vonderrit Myers' intent that night to kill a police officer.
Had a tactical advantage being up above and firing down on the officer. That officer had to fire while he was taking cover and moving, doing what's called laying down suppression fire just to get the suspect to stop shooting. For more on that, check out our previous report on fox2now.com. Live outside of St. Louis Police Officers Association headquarters, Chris Hayes, Fox 2 News.
Okay, we're not buying it. We're not buying it. The whole tone of that is wrong for me. It's all wrong for me. They say that it was on his right hand, his shirt, and his belt. Now, the next thing we want to know is which hand did he write with? You see, I would even be interested to go back and look at that surveillance video from the convenience store to even see what hand he was eating with when he was eating that sandwich. If it turns out he's left-handed, there's a problem. Because no left-handed person would be shooting with their right hand. I don't care how ambidextrous you might be. You simply do not shoot with your right hand if you're a left-handed person. You just don't. Okay, now of course then they have to assassinate the character of the boy. You know what I'm saying? That should be against the damn law. Like, he's dead now. It's one thing if somebody's still living and, you know, you want to villainize them and, oh, look how bad they are and stuff like that. But it's curtains now, you know. Regardless of whatever else happened before, the fact is that he is deceased now. And I think that they should just, you shouldn't be allowed to bring whatever they've done before into the public light. I think you should only have to be able to stick to just the facts of that damn case. We don't give a damn what he did before. He could have been a mass murderer. It's not germane to what this case was about at all. And it's just an attempt by these white devils to just say to the white society, see, every time we kill one of them, see how bad they are, see how bad they are, see how bad they are. That's what the shit is about. Make no mistake about it. All right, let's see this and let's watch them tear down his character.
Bankman has more on that part of the story. Paul?
Yeah, Redford police said last night that Myers was no stranger to them, and these court filings that we got today certainly.
And look at him hold up like it's a big stack. Certainly these court filings that we got today, you know. Where's the big stack that you holding up for the devil that murdered him? Where's that stack at? Of all the other young men that he's murdered. All right? Let's move on.
Bankman has more on that part of the story. Paul? Yeah, Redford police said last night that Myers was no stranger to them, and these court filings that we got today certainly explain why. First, take a look at a couple of pictures. The one on the left of your screen is Mr. Myers in happier times, and the other a mugshot from this summer. Court filings show Myers had been riding in a car with a few other people on June 27th. Police attempted to stop the car. The reasons are not specified in the
attempted to stop the car. The reasons are not specified because, once again, they were just pulling them over to fuck with them. No, the reasons are not specified.
Today certainly explain why. First, take a look at a couple of pictures. The one on the left of your screen is Mr. Myers in happier times.
And notice, the one that's supposed to be on the left in happier times, notice how it's, it's to the left because the eye naturally goes to the right. When you look at anything, just test yourself individually. Your eye just goes to that. And plus it's brighter and it's bigger. You see? That's what they want you to focus on. They just put that one up there because their ass is hanging out with this anyway. But to make it not seem as much of an attack, oh, look at the picture in happier times, as if they're being fair. But the only fucking picture they really wanted to put up was the goddamn mugshot. White devils. All right, let's see it again.
Left of your screen is Mr. Myers in happier times, and the other a mugshot from this summer. Court filings show Myers had been riding in a car with a few other people on June 27th. Police attempted to stop the car. The reasons are not specified.
Reasons are not specified
in the court report. Then that turned into a high-speed chase, which ended with a crash near St. Louis University Hospital.
Just a second. It's not in the documents. Oh, but a high-speed chase ensued. No. Why were you after them to begin with? Maybe they had a reason to run and start a high-speed chase. Why were you after them? Why? Do you see how they just brushed over that? Oh, the reasons are not even specified in the document. But it led to a high-speed chase, and it just go right on into their devilry.
Police in the court report. Then that turned into a high-speed chase, which ended with a crash near St. Louis University Hospital. According to the officer, Myers ignored the officer's calls to stop running and claims Myers then took a concealed pistol, which he had with him, and threw it into a sewer drain. In a television exclusive interview with Fox 2, defense attorney Pete Cohen talked.
Wait. He threw it into a sewer drain. Where's the gun? Where's that gun at? Where's it at? How do we know maybe he had a gun? Let's just say for a moment that the gun he had in the Facebook picture was the gun. Let's say he had it the day of that car accident, and that's the one he threw into the storm drain, and they recovered it, and then now they plant that on him now. If they can make bullshit up, then we can at least look at logical stuff. All right? Where's the gun at? They threw it into a storm drain. It's the same as a few minutes before when they were like, hey, the reason for the stop is unclear. It's not in the documents. But it started a high-speed chase.
To stop running and claims Myers then took a concealed pistol, which he had with him, and threw it into a sewer drain. In a television exclusive interview with Fox.
Why didn't he shoot the police officer then? If he threw it into the storm drain then, he could have shot then too, like they alleged he did on Wednesday.
To stop running and claims Myers then took a concealed pistol, which he had with him, and threw it into a sewer drain. In a television exclusive interview with Fox 2, defense attorney Pete Cohen talks about the Vonderrit Myers he knew and had been hired to defend.
He was a nice enough kid, kind of a quieter kid. He was going to graduate high school at the end of this semester. He was also working a part-time job at, I believe it was called Contico, doing assembly work in addition to going to school. and he was hoping, upon graduation to take up a trade, either maybe construction or something of that nature, but go to a trade school and learn something further to try to better himself.
Now, we checked with the St. Louis Public Schools. According to their records, Myers had been a student at Confluence Academy until this year when he enrolled in the St. Louis Public Schools online virtual learning program, but that he was withdrawn by the district from that program after failing to attend for more than 10 days in September. Myers had been charged with resisting arrest, which is a misdemeanor, and unlawful use of a weapon, which is a felony. The trial was set for November. He planned to plead not guilty. He was under house arrest and was supposed to be wearing an electronic monitoring device on his ankle. Well, that case was being prosecuted by...
Just a second. Just a second. First of all, he's standing up there reading his entire fucking resume. Oh, look at all the shit he's done. This is just to say, look how bad he was bad. He was bad. He was bad. You see? And if he was supposed to be wearing a house arrest anklet or a house arrest ankle bracelet, there's no way he could have been at the damn store getting a damn sandwich with that damn thing on without it alerting some probation or parole officers. Where's that? And now we want to know, was that present at the damn autopsy?
St. Louis Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce, who called a news conference this afternoon to assure the community her investigation would be done independently of the investigation being done by the police department.
It's going to be much more than just reading a police report. It's going to be a robust review of the case. We're going to look at everything, every piece of evidence, every witness statement that they reviewed. We are also free to go out and speak to witnesses ourselves, to collect evidence ourselves, and we will stop at nothing to get to the truth in this case.
Jennifer Joyce said along with her team, she was also going to be joined by an assistant U.S. attorney, something they do from time to time, though not very often. That would be to review whether any federal laws were violated, specifically if there were any civil rights violations in this case. Live in downtown St. Louis, Paul Schenk.
Okay, more bullshit. More bullshit. Now, finally, I want to go to this update on Michael Brown, you guys, because remember that there was a report now, and I brought you in a video of these two construction workers, white construction workers that happened to be in the area and saw the entire thing. They didn't see the scuffle at the SUV, but they saw everything after that. Now, there's some interesting things that come out of this. I'm probably just going to shut up through it, and then after it, I probably will go through the text so that we can understand some things about it. All right, let's go into this now.
Two key witnesses to the police shooting of Michael Brown are construction workers who just happened to be working nearby. One spoke exclusively to Fox 2 days after the shooting. The other just came forward to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes takes you through their unique perspectives.
Two men who were working for a Jefferson County construction company watched Michael Brown die from half a football field away. One spoke to Fox 2's Shirley Washington just 3 days after the shooting.
There are several leads.
The other spoke to St. Louis Post-Dispatch's Jeremy Kohler for an article published Friday.
The fact that he just happened to be there, it was just pure happenstance that he was there. You really couldn't put him in any kind of camp in terms of what you'd expect him to say.
Both witnesses said they did not see the reported altercation at the police car, but looked up after hearing a shot or shots. Post reporter Kohler wrote, the worker said Brown was kind of walking back toward the cop. His hands were still up, and the witness described Officer Wilson backing up as he fired. The co-worker who spoke to Fox 2 described hearing two pops, then looked up to see Brown.
I seen somebody staggering and running, and when he finally caught himself, he threw his hands up and started screaming, okay, 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 and then the three officers come through the thing, and the one just started shooting.
The Fox 2 witness immediately wrote down what he saw, even drawing this diagram showing he and his co-worker about 50 yards away. He journaled. The officer emptied his gun into the guy. The newspaper witness said Brown's hands started going down after the third shot, and he reportedly moved about 25 feet toward Wilson, who kept backing away and firing. From the worker's vantage point, about 50 yards away, the worker who spoke to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said he couldn't tell from back there if Brown's motion towards Wilson after the shots, quote, was a stumble to the ground, or, quote, Okay, I'm gonna get you. You're already shooting me. The co-worker who talked to Fox 2.
I gotta stop it there. Or I'm gonna get you, you're already shooting me. What the fuck is that? Somebody tell me. Oh, look, you shot me. I'm coming to get you now. And you've got a gun and you're firing, but I'm going to come at you now to punish you for shooting me. It's ridiculous. Do you understand? And notice how then they blacked out the screen and put that up in text because they wanted that to be highlighted. Do you understand? Language, language, language. Let's see it again. I'm up. Now I'm up.
Worker's vantage point about 50 yards away. The worker who spoke to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said he couldn't tell from back there if Brown's motion towards Wilson after the shots, quote, was a stumble to the ground, or, quote, okay, I'm going to get you.
Now look at how they do that, you see. Whether it was a stumble to the ground or a big or. Notice, different font and everything. A big, huge or. Language.
Tell from back there if Brown's motion towards Wilson after the shots, quote, was a stumble to the ground, or, quote, okay, I'm going to get you. You're already shooting me. The co-worker.
Okay, I'm going to get you. You're already shooting me. That makes me puke, right? I can't. One more time, you guys, and we'll go on.
Worker's vantage point about 50 yards away. The worker who spoke to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch said he couldn't tell from back there if Brown's motion towards Wilson after the shots, quote, was a stumble to the ground, or, quote, okay, I'm going to get you. You're already shooting me. The co-worker who talked to Fox 2 August 12th described it this way.
Michael was stumbling and falling out coming down the street. And when he caught himself, that's when he threw his arms up. And then here come the officer. At first, his gun was down, and then walked till he got about 8 to 10 feet away from him. And with a shot, I heard 6, 7 shots.
Both witnesses say they've talked to investigators about what they saw. For the Fox Files, I'm Chris Hayes.
Oh my God, I'm so heated. I can't even begin to tell you. Oh my God. Let's see the text now, you guys, because that will be easier to walk through. Wow. 2 key witnesses spoke to, okay, blah, 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 Michael Brown, construction worker, the 2 identified men were, and again, they're not on camera yet. So it'll be interesting to see who gets, them on camera to finally speak, maybe Oprah, but she's been quite silent on this. Not that I expect she has to speak out on everything, but I'm just saying. Says the fact he just happened to be there, okay. Both witnesses said they did not see the reported altercation, okay. The worker said, and by the way, they keep saying a half a football field away. Again, it's the language. All right, I was in band all through high school. I've been on hundreds of football fields. All right, around this damn nation, marching my ass off. And so that if you, and for any of us out there, I know Dana, you were in band, and my other brother who plays trombone, it'll come to me. Anyways, any of us that have been in band, or just, if you've been on, it's one thing you go to a football game, but to be on a football field, you see, if you're half a football field away, they try to make it seem like it was, because all people are going to hear is football field. It's meant to be deceptive. You've got to trust me on that, you guys. All right, the worker said Brown was kind of walking back towards the cop. His hands were still up. But before that, it says, as reported, after a reported foot chase, Kohler said the worker described a shot fired while Brown was running away. Remember, he had on flip-flops, you guys. And in the report that we just saw, they said he kind of stumbled, but when he caught himself, he was a big guy. He was in flip-flops. You trying to run, especially with a lot of adrenaline and fear, them damn flip-flops are going to betray you. The worker said Brown was kind of walking back towards the cop. His hands were still up, and the witness described Officer Wilson backing up as he fired. Well, they will make that. I think if Michael had his hands up, he was going back to, if he was going towards the officer, it was just to go back and so he could be taken into custody for whatever fucking offense he thought he might have been under damn arrest for. The eyewitness who spoke to Fox described hearing two pops, then looked up to see Brown. I saw him staggering and running. That is what I'm talking about, you guys. Them flip-flops was probably betraying him at that moment. Saw him staggering and running. Because if there was a shot at the truck, now they're convinced this dude is a fucking psycho. Dorian has ran and is hiding behind this white car. And Michael is trying to get away, but he's a big guy and he's got on flip-flops. So yes, he's staggering and running. And when he finally caught himself, it says, he threw up his hands and started screaming, okay, 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 okay. And then the three officers come through the thing, and the one just started shooting. So now this is the first time we're hearing about three officers. And the one just started shooting. The worker told Fox, okay, fine. The Fox 2 witness immediately wrote down what he saw. He also drew a diagram showing him and his co-worker about 50 yards away. All right. He wrote that the officer emptied his gun into this guy. Let's see if that made it into the goddamn grand jury. Remember, he said even if there's no conviction, he's going to release everything. Man, devils. The witness who spoke to St. Louis Post-Dispatch said Brown's hands started going up after the third shot, and he reportedly, quote, moved about 25 feet towards Wilson, who kept backing away and firing. Now, that confuses me a little bit. And that he moved about 25 feet? Now, we're talking about he was half a football field. These guys are half a football field away. So this is half of that now. He reportedly moved about 25 feet away. They moved 25 feet towards Wilson, who kept backing away and firing. He had already said, okay, 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 and was now, I guess, walking to surrender. But this devil opened fire and emptied his gun, who kept backing away and firing, end quote. From the worker's vantage point, about 50 yards away, the worker who talked to, I'm sorry, that's feet and yards, so forget what I said about it being half the distance. From the worker's vantage point, about 50 yards away, the worker who talked to the St. Louis Dispatch said he could not tell if Brown's motion toward Wilson after the shots was a stumble to the ground or, okay, I'm going to get you, you already shooting me. That makes me sick. The eyewitnesses who talked to Fox 2 described looking up to see Brown stumbling and falling, coming down the street, and when he caught himself, again, those flip-flops, and probably now injured, plus the flip-flops, and when he caught himself, that's when he threw his arms up. Then here comes the officer. At first, his gun was down, then walked till he got 8 to 10 feet away from him, then shot. I heard 6 or 7 shots. Both witnesses said they have talked to investigators about what they saw. Man. You know, where's our equivalent of the Klan, you guys? You know, when they used to just ride around at night and just come to your house and literally come into your house and take people out of their bed and take you and lynch you and shit. You know, where's our equivalent of that? We have been terrorized by these people in this country and are being terrorized by them now. It's time for everything by any damn means necessary. Everything. Wow. Anyways, I'm going to leave this here, you guys. If you see part 1 on this, then that means there's a part 2. Because there was a bunch of stuff that DJ sent me, and I wanted to be able to go through it. And I'm thinking that I will probably be presenting something from that information, but I didn't want this one to be too long. So if you see part 1 in the title of this video, then alas, there's another, and then that means there's a part 2. If not, then this was it. As always, you guys share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. I can't say it enough. And I wanted to say to Luigi, I'm going through the information, man. I got your response to that. I'm going through it. Also to Root 7706. I appreciate your comment on the Cornell West video that I did. Omar, my Somali brother in Sweden, brother, we have got to Skype or we got to do something. I'm so eager to continue my dialogue with you. Just alhamdulillah that I've even met you. That's just wonderful. Again, to my brother, my Somali brother who is in Sweden, and shouting out to me. I also want to say to Trey D down in Texas, thank you, brother, because I'm mentioning that because Catherine Wood, who's down in Conroe, Texas, I wanted to let you know, Catherine, that Trey D is down there in Texas as well. And it's interesting because I wanted to say to Trey, who's been down to the war zone recently, you know, DJ put out a post today that was talking about the atmosphere on the ground, you know, and Trey was talking a lot about it as well, you see. And but Catherine was talking about some stuff that's going on down there with a guy that was shot, stole something from a Walmart, was shot in his back. And she was talking about the contrast in the reaction down there and what's going on in St. Louis, and she wishes she was down there, you know, but she was just saying like they just having kind of a lukewarm response to the shit in down in Texas. So Catherine, I thank you for sharing that with me as well. Again, all you guys, definitely all my troops, everybody, all of my subscribers, I need you guys to share the videos as usual. Share the videos. Thank you. To anyone under the sound of my voice that has not joined my channel, I have over 225 videos. In fact, I think this is number 225. So I have over 225 videos on my channel. Check me out. And if I am the brand for you, hit that subscribe and get involved in what we're doing over here on my channel. All right? I love you all for listening and watching. This is the Jedi.